Mark and Gabby Hayes read an article in the Los Angeles Times about the running program that I started, and they made contact with me and asked if they could perhaps start a project chronicling what we were doing. And I said, well, it's essentially up to the runners. So Gabby Hayes is also a very accomplished runner. So she began to run with us, no cameras involved, okay, to sort of build a relationship with the people in recovery. And once they figured out that she was an absolutely wonderful person, then it was an absolute green light.
I mean, we believed in the story right from the beginning, and we hope, we feel like the LA Film Festival would be a perfect venue for this, so to see a hopeful story about Skid Row, because you have so much negative publicity about Skid Row, people, strung out and on meth or, shootings and stuff like that. So we really felt this is going to be a hopeful story and hopefully inspires others to get involved.
And we had lived downtown LA for years, and we had seen the same thing that the judge saw: homeless people living on the streets in tents. It's hard to believe that in one of the richest cities in the United States and the world, this kind of situation exists. But the judge saw what we saw, and he figured out a way to do something. And he's not going to cure homelessness or anything like that, or addiction. No, not at all. But it's at least a start. He's helped, since we've known him, several hundred people, and it's just like what we've learned is, and we hope what people take away, is that if everybody does just a little bit, there's a way out of it. There's a way out of that whole situation, and the people that have been running, and running is a thing. I don't love running. I do it, but I'm not like Gabi or the judge and some of the other people's. But it does help you. Running helps your self-esteem. It helps you get in good physical shape. It helps you mentally. And the people have been able to apply some of the same disciplines that the judge has taught them to run marathons in their daily lives, and it helps them on their path back to becoming productive citizens.
He was a deputy district attorney at my parole board hearing in 2004. And he was going to, usually a district attorney will oppose your release. And he said, hey, you know what, Raphael, when I read Raphael's file, I thought he should never go home. Because first time I was arrested, I was 11 years old, and I was arrested at 14, continued being arrested. And but he said, but seeing what he's done since he's been in here, and that he's changed and he's not the same person, he goes, we don't oppose this. And he didn't oppose my release. And the parole board denied me parole.
And what is really good about, in terms of the people in recovery, it is, I find, really affirming for people who oftentimes are marginalized, who don't believe anybody is paying any attention to them, that people are doing just that. Your lives are worth looking at and examining and supporting. And so it was a win-win.
We went to run a marathon in Ghana, in Accra. We ran an international marathon. We went to Rome. We took 25 runners to Rome to run a marathon. So it adds a lot to the travel budget, of course. Most documentaries, unless you're Michael Moore or somebody, usually have limited budgets. So that made it a little more expensive and stuff. Yeah. But it was worth it to get, and that's kind of the whole point of what the judge is doing, to take these runners who are on Skid Row or, they're kind of down on their luck, to take them on a trip around the world to Rome. We didn't stay in like little hotels. We stayed in beautiful, magnificent hotels. To give them this look at the other side of life is really a nice treat and opens up their world, literally and figuratively. So it was great. It was worth it. It was really worth it.
Yeah.
We saw the footage, and then we started creating sounds for it, like broken glass, for example, to symbolize the fragility of people and making something new and positive out of a broken thing. For example, trash can drums. He was banging the trash cans. And then we put it all together to picture. But there's a surprise at the end where it kind of all happened at the same time.
I had met Kim through Mark and Gabby, the filmmakers, and they knew I was a musician. And at the beginning, they said, we'd like to get you involved somehow in the music. And I don't know what capacity, but they had mentioned that to Kim when he agreed to compose the music of the film, and Kim said that he would like me to, be a part of it.
I hope it really changes people's perspective on how they view homeless people, how they view people who have addiction issues. That, if you can take care of some of those issues and put them behind these individuals, they have a tremendous amount to offer, not only their own families, themselves, but the community. I think that's another thing I really hope people take out of it, is that they understand with a rather limited commitment, if you choose to spend time, nurture somebody. I spend maybe 10 hours a week with people on Skid Row. That's not a tremendous amount, but it really can make a significant difference.
In prison, you're accustomed to living and the prison system right here in California is basically segregated. And now I see people for people who they are. I don't see race, I don't see nationality, I don't see age, I don't see any of that. I just see people as people. And it's enormously helped me and to trust other people.
Having honest, kind, and loving friendships that are true and honest. I thought I had that before. I've never had that in my whole life because I was out there, man. And it enabled me to actually trust someone and at a deep level.